Militants reportedly captured dozens of Fijian and Filipino UN peacekeepers during fighting in Syria, and while the Filipino contingent escaped, the fate of the Fijians remains uncertain. According to the UN, 44 Fijian peacekeepers from the UN Disengagement Observer Force, or UNDOF, remain, quote, detained Saturday at the post they were manning on the border between Syria and Israel. The 32 Filipino troops rescued overnight were helped by Irish forces who provided armored vehicles for the extraction and were able to escape without suffering any casualties.
This was the second time in 36 hours that Irish UN soldiers rescued Filipino colleagues from rebel forces. And as the UNDOF mission's heavily armed quick reaction force, the Irish soldiers are set to remain centre stage.
Whom exactly they were fighting, though, remains somewhat unclear. The Fijian and Filipino soldiers' captors have been called rebel forces and militants by most outlets, though some sources were more specific. CNN reports those holding the peacekeepers are members of the al-Qaeda-linked al-Nusra Front, one of the rebel groups fighting President Bashar al-Assad's government, an Israeli military official told CNN on condition of anonymity. The al-Nusra Front is the same group that held American journalist Peter Theo Curtis, who was abducted in Syria and released this week after 2 years in captivity. The UNDOF mission in the Golan Heights is more than 30 years old and was established to maintain the ceasefire between Israel and Syria after the Yom Kippur War in 1973. Some of UNDOF's posts are manned by as few as 3 peacekeepers. With the civil war raging on in Syria, UNDOF's strategic locations along the border have come under fire before, with 4 UNDOF members captured by militants a little more than a year ago. They were later released. And this latest incident has some questioning the authority of the UN in the region, with a writer for Business Insider arguing the UN has essentially lost the ability to police the no man's land. UNDOF is ill-equipped to deal with the more chaotic, asymmetrical warfare that's currently tearing through the Middle East. In light of the fighting and another post taking fire from militants, the UN was forced to evacuate one of its posts on Saturday. For Newsy, I'm Sebastián Martínez.